All. Hope each and everybody is doing good. So, in our previous video, I have shared my opinions on the distinguishes among the MNCs, multinational companies, transnational companies, global companies, and the domestic corporations. And in this video, I would share my opinion on the benefits that a multinational company brings it and the ecosystem that it creates uh, in a country, especially host country, uh, that we have listed out as economic development, then the technology gap that fills, then the contribution that it makes towards the industrial growth, then the opportunities, the marketing opportunity that it creates, and the work culture, the improvement in this sector, then the export promotion, and the research and development, which is very crucial for a uh, company to grow from a developing country to a developed country. So, yeah, firstly, let's discuss about the economic development. Economic development definitely happens by an MNC. I can say if it wasn't the MNCs, we wouldn't have been here today where we are. Due to them, the cultures between the groups, between the communities, between countries uh, got gelled. Then the revenue has increased, and the way it has utilized the available human resources and the natural resources of a particular country, then how it has transformed those resources into the revenue to a country. Definitely, because it provides more jobs to people. It provides good money generation, the traction between the customer, the mass customers, and the producer of a particular product or a service. It creates an awareness across your country that whether we need to update towards this lifestyle, whether by this, for example, uh, in previous days, back in 3 to 4 decades ago, we had only radios. Now you have many different electronic devices to entertain you with the music and podcasts and other stuffs. Of course, with the internet penetration, it has become we are very advanced. So generally talking about it, you will get more products. Generally, you don't need. I mean, all you need is a radio. But later on, we got Walkmans, we got other music devices which were not needed, but a company like Sony come up with these ideas and improved the quality and sold these at an economical price to people across the globe. So that made sense to people, and they started spending money. So this is what a company can create with their products and devices. So once you have a company, once you have hired more people, especially local, then first thing is they will earn money, then they will get skilled in their jobs, then later on the traction created between the customers. So when more people buy it, more revenue towards the company. Once the more revenue towards the company, this is when the company starts paying taxations towards the country. So end of the day, country is the one which gets more money. With this economy or fiscal, you will have more infrastructure, roads, and other industrial growth. This would definitely help a country. Then we have technology gap. As far as the technology is concerned, definitely a multinational company, especially from US, Japan, and UK companies, when they start investing money in developing countries or underdeveloped countries or poor countries, they would definitely improve the technology of a particular country. Imagine if Google wasn't here, if other internet providers weren't here in India, we wouldn't have been where we are today. So, in terms of the underdeveloped countries, yes, we are racing ahead compared to other nations like India. Of course, China is ahead of us, but India is keeping up its pace with China, though it has a lot of glitches, a lot of technical difficulties, technical glitches in the political domain. It hasn't been very successful in terms of the stabilization. The political instability is always proven very costly for the country to develop in terms of education, the technology, and other features of a developed country. Of course, for the past 2 3 decades, we are ahead, and technology has helped in this path uh, much more than we can remember. So this way, technology provides you knowledge. It trains the human resources in India. Then it helps you to connect with the other countries and other experts across the globe. So this is what happened when technology came to India. People started talking to the other nations. Then they started taking online tutorials. They learned many things because most of them did not have an opportunity to go to US or UK universities to uh, get certified. But they've started reading technology about it and how to learn all these things. This has definitely filled the gap between the developing countries' technology uh, studies and the developed country. And the industrial growth is, as we've told in the economic development, industry definitely grows because MNCs bring in such an opportunity and creates a ecosystem among the domestic companies and the MNCs. So local companies will always have uh, a chance to learn the skills and other stuffs. Then they start their own companies, or they can start a company which provides the spare parts of the MNC company which needs it from a local market. So this way, industry really grows, especially when it comes to India. MNCs provided over the decades. MNCs have gifted a local company, especially the textile companies. A lot of you take any branded uh, cloths companies, they are here. So it is due to the MNCs have created a demand. They provided the technology. They've understood that way to go on how to get these machineries and started their own companies. Looking at these today, most of the branded textile companies in India, they always outsource their projects to India. That is how it is. It is as far as the textile is concerned, we are just behind Brazil. Bangladesh is behind us. There are other nations. I mean, in the Asia, they are learning from the Indian culture. When it comes to marketing opportunities, see, marketing is always which when you're dealing with an MNC, you will have an idea how to reach out to other markets in the world. This way, There are maybe many people who are setting up their R&D in India because there are certain university they are famous, especially the uh, government-owned IITs and IAS. These teach the marketing techniques and elements which are equivalent to the developed countries' universities. Many IITs and IAS and IIMs are in major major MNC companies in today and globalized companies. There was a CEO who was from India for Coca-Cola and PepsiCo. Then there are CEOs in technology major companies like Google. You can take Sundar Pichai is a CEO of Google. Then Microsoft is again Indian origin CEO. So it provides you. There are ways as an individual, you learn things from an MNC and go to different country and join a global company. Or when you're working with a MNC company, you learn certain things, and when they want to uh, tell you to they want to replace your designation with someone else, then we can come out and start off your own company. There are many instances like this. So people used to be with certain foreign companies. Now they have come out and they have started companies in corporations in every industry. So this way, marketing opportunities that will create work culture definitely. For example, before BPOs, the business process outsourcing companies have reached India. Nobody knew how an international company would work in their operations and in their front end professionals or executives. What are their jobs and the features, then their responsibilities, and how they distribute the tasks and how they treat what sort of targets and tasks are distributed across the departments in a particular company. These things have been learning by the MNCs. For example, I myself when I was with Accenture, then the 24/7 insurance company, which was insurance company in UK. I've learned certain things. Definitely, these are my top qualities when I go to other countries, and my own network of people say that you know you are different or maybe sophisticated because we learned it from the global companies. So work culture definitely it improves. It's not that the what universities you come from and where you got graduated. It's about where you work because it is practical and it is constantly you are in the group of professionals and expertise and you learn real discipline. So this always uh, apparently everyone can see the difference between a domestic company employees and an MNC company employees. Though we are all from the same country or same town or same city, the company that you work with teaches you a lot of things, and that is good for the company, good for an individual. Yeah, this is another uh, very, I can say, a top contribution that an MNC can make to a country. Most of the MNCs are definitely helping with this gifts. I can say this is a gift to the developing nations audience. Then you have export promotion, like we discussed earlier. Export promotion again, when you are dealing with, imagine you have a business partner from US or UK. They've invested money into you, and they when they want to promote, they would always take you along. You have the connections getting built across the globe. So then later on, once you get involved with these certain uh, business events, definitely give you an opportunity to invest or do a joint venture. You can promote your qualities that you have in you. So this is another opportunity. any MNC can provide you. And the research and development, I think we've discussed this in our previous video, one of the previous videos. So research and development, it is over the decades, it has always been a developed nation's element. So no country wants to have their research and development team in a poor country or a developing country or an underdeveloped country. So they always go to Japan, they go to Germany, then they have many other countries who are expertise in this. But countries like China and India have showing signs that developed countries have started putting their R&D, which does for global, not only for a particular country. There are certain companies in India which does the R&D for almost 200 countries. So that's another great element to be added to a developing nation, and this will definitely improve the the quality of a industry of a particular nation, especially uh, when they want to adapt the frameworks of our developed countries while they were growing from developing to a developed country. So research and development. One more thing, it attracts most commercial thing. It is very expensive. This department is particularly. You can see Apple and other two three companies. In 2018, they spent almost $800 billion. So you can understand how big the domain is, the research and development. So countries who wants to be developed, really need to have this space, invest more money, and show the world that they are capable of doing this. So compared to all this, technology and research and development are both, they are they're pretty crucial for a developing nation when it comes to taking advantage of an MNC in learning things and improving our cultures and becoming one of the uh, quickly growing economy. So this is about the benefits of an MNC for a country. Then let us discuss about demerits of an MNC, or disadvantages that a company can throw off to a developing nation. Demerits can be a problem with the technology, then the political interference or the corruption of a host nation, then the self-interest of a company or the bosses of the MNCs, then the outflow of foreign exchange. This is another currency manipulation that we always read in the international newses. Then you have exploitation. This is regard to the how a company can exploit the human resources, especially human resources, then the natural resources, then the investments that they make. Then it'll have a complete control of a particular nation. Then the artificial demand that one creates, which is false demand. In the consequence, you will have many difficulties to run along. So, starting with the technology, see, when a developed country is coming into a nation which is not as good as them, the technology can be a difficult task. So, here you do not know more about the technology, and that's why they make their own interests. So, the first thing is you do not know about it, and they can give you what do you say, free open source technology, and you do not know how to handle it. Then they have a knack to take their data, and Machineries, you never know how long it'll last, but still you buy it, then it'll not long last as you expected. Then there is a loss. Then of course this will not happen without the help of a political interference or political corrupted leadership or the body of the regulating for the international trade. They all involve in it, and you cannot blame anybody. This always happens. uh, we watch these, we read these news, and even now you can see Google CEOs and Facebook's founder director Mark Zuckerberg, going to the congressman in US, and there are issues. They are completely, they cannot. You can check this. It is available on the YouTube. They cannot even, you know, address a single question thrown by the congressman in US regarding the data manipulation that Google and Facebook has. So data is number one in India nowadays. I mean, in India and any developed country in the world, I can say. So these are the two, three companies. They have complete data of the world. The Chinese are more culprit when it comes to this. You must have read about the TikTok, which is Chinese parent company, a sister concern company. It is stealing the data from US and India, especially because India has no such restrictions when it comes to data, and it's a storage where it has to be stored in the data centers. So now US has banned, and if at all someone from US buying the TikTok company, then it can stay. It has got only 45 days to be done that. India is same. So technology can prove, the companies can come up with such you know technology to steal data from you, which is everything nowadays. That is it. So that's one concern. Then the political interference, as I've told you, unless and until a political corruption team allows it, nothing would happen. Any of these. So as long as they are strict enough to control an MNC, which is what exactly they're doing, right from the operations to the multiplying the companies and all that. So they are responsible for it. So this happens for particularly our underdeveloped or the poorer countries. It's because sometimes the MNC company, which is so rich, can buy the whole country itself. I mean, in terms of the revenue of a country or a GDP. So their annual revenue itself is beating the economy of the country annually. So this time anything could happen. So you can take many North and South American companies. I mean, South American nations like Mexico, then Colombia, then you have Venezuela. These are the nations. I mean, most of the companies and the political uh, corruption teams got together, and with their alliance, countries have gone down. So this happens. So the political arena, the political stability is important, especially the leadership of the company. Then MNC companies always come with one objective. Any company would come to a different company, or when they are extending, their main objective is to maximize the profits. This way, they can buy out the domestic companies. Around 80% of the companies that they start, they 85 to 90% of these companies would die off within the 5 years of their uh, inception. So the reason would be most of the MNCs. One thing is, yeah, when they are producing millions of products, so they can reduce down the cost of the product. The marketing, they have huge money, so they can market aggressively, and people do not know about a smaller company whether this exists or not due to this. So there is no healthy market or a platform for domestic and international companies to compete. That is one thing. For example, I cannot see any other company growing like Flipkart and Amazon. Now it is both of these companies are, one belongs to the US, another one belongs to another US major. So though Flipkart started as an Indian company, now it is got sold, or most of the stakes has been sold to the uh, Walmart. It's a US company. So you never know. And though there are thousands of companies every year want to start, they cannot compete with the MNC companies because they hire a better talent from your company, you or any employee or a human resource is not willing to join a company which is local. These are the self-interest that an MNC can throw off and eat off other domestic companies. That's really worrying concern. Then the outflow of foreign exchange. As I've told you, this helps to currency manipulation. So you never know that most of the dollars have come in, then your rupee or your own nation's value goes down because there is no company or a product or a service which is originated from your own country. So everybody wants to deal in the dollars. Nobody would respect the rupee or your own country's currency. This way, they bring in more dollars, more pounds, more euros than your local currency. This will definitely hit the the federal the Federal Reserve currency that you have, or the Reserve Bank of India, or the reserve currency of any particular nation. Again, it would not happen without the help of the political help or assistance or the alliance. Yeah. So then the exploitation, as I've told you, they again take the advantages to dig more natural resources that you have, then hire most of the talent, human resources that you have. This is another reason. Again, this will stop the growth of the domestic companies. Then you have investments. Most of the investments are from the foreign countries or an MNC company. Then there is very less revenue towards your taxation department. There is no tax, then you are, as a country, you cannot grow. Imagine, it is most of the times MNC companies will come up with a seasonal pro- products and services. So once they hire, they dig out all the resources and they hire local uh, human resources. Once they have done, they'll pay off and they leave. Then what happens to the system which is got set up there? The employees, those used to work, once the company shut down or once the company leaves that place, they cannot work. So it is again, government has to take care of it. So this investment part is very uh, tricky. I cannot tell you this is what happens. So there are self interest of a company from a foreign country. So we need to be careful. Then the artificial demand any company would create is, you can take a good example for this term is fuel companies. Many oil producing companies do this. Though they stop the supply chain, they create some hiccups in between the supply chain distribution channels. Then as a country you face, without oil, fuel, you cannot do anything. Country completely literally goes to shut down. So this they create, then they, once the demand is more, and they charge you more. Of course, there are many international trade unities, they come to help, and it does not happen. But this is for the sake of studies. You should know all these things. But still, inside stories, if you go and get into and investigate, you would find all these things. Every company would do this. Yeah. So this these are about merits and demerits, or benefits or disadvantages that a multinational company can throw. But mostly it is the advantages that a developing country or a nation uh, generates from an MNC. But if the leadership of the political domain or industry, they are strong enough, they can minimize the disadvantages of an MNC. Yeah. So this is about it. So in the next video, I would share something else. We go forward in this unit. So thank you very much.